Best Media Podcast Network.
Mi gente, ¿cómo están?
Mi gente, ¿cómo estamos? Welcome to another edition of Must Love Wrestling. And guys, we have a jam-packed show for you today because we're going to be going over Monday Night Raw and everything that happened. We're going to talk about the Judgment Day. We're going to talk about Jey Uso and whether he was booked properly. We're going to talk about that face-to-face interaction, as well as going over some other key moments in professional wrestling that I thought we should discuss. But why don't we kick off with Jey Uso versus Bron Breakker? And my God, what a spectacular match. Guys, that match to me was one of the better TV matches we've gotten in a very long time. We hit a stride there where we were getting really, really good TV matches throughout. And then all of a sudden, we just started getting these classic, like, let's just get to the commercial and then do barely anything and come back from commercial and then just kind of wrap it up. But now we finally got a strong match. It's been 28 days that Jey Uso was the Intercontinental Champion. And that's it, guys. It's all over. Jey Uso lost the Intercontinental Championship to Bron Breakker in the rematch. He's only had 2 title defenses, but he did involve himself with the Bloodline last week. So, just like clockwork, the Bloodline comes out and they steal it from him. But guys, let's go over this because I've seen this discourse on the internet today where Jey Uso was booked unfairly and he wasn't given the proper opportunity to shine. And I just want to point this out. Jey Uso beat Bron Breakker fair. He beat him clean. Jey Uso beat Bron Breakker in the middle of the ring with no help. That happened 28 days ago. What happened last night? Did Bron Breakker beat Jey Uso fair? No. See, Jey Uso was booked like a superhuman. He was booked at such a high capacity. You would think that he was the top guy on all the cards, but that's not what happened. You see, Bron Breakker, he needed the Bloodline. He needed the distraction from the Gorillas of Destiny. He needed the distraction from Jacob Fatu, and he needed Solo to get involved to beat Jey Uso. Jey Uso, yes, he did lose the Intercontinental Championship in just 28 days, but it took a lot to get that title off of him. And I think that he was booked super, super strong. And that's what you need because the OG Bloodline versus the Temu Bloodline, well, it needs to be formidable. If the OG Bloodline just goes out there and they just beat them, well, guys, it's not going to be believable. Roman and the Usos, even though they're going to get back together sooner rather than later, they still need to struggle. The win needs to come at War Games, not before. I do see a lot of people that are angry, though. They're just pissed off because they feel like Jey just wasn't given a fair shake. Guys, this is what was going to happen. Your outrage, your irrational behavior, all of the tweets that you threw at WWE's way, all of the TikTok videos you made, that's exactly what they wanted. They want to incentivize you into anger. They want you to be pissed off at what happened. If you got everything you wanted in professional wrestling, it would be boring. It would be absolutely boring. It would be like what's happening with Cody Rhodes. It would just be a boring booking decision. They needed to have this happen. Plus, now Bron moves away and he puts himself in a different storyline. He gets himself out there. I love what they're doing because now you have Jey Uso added right back to the Bloodline and Bron Breakker can break away and then hopefully have brand new challengers because he is the second biggest champion on Monday Night Raw. Going into the Netflix era. That is amazing. I think WWE gave you everything you wanted. They gave you that Jey Uso title reign. Be happy with what you guys got because sometimes you don't even get that. But I also wanted to remind you, maybe temper expectations, maybe bring it back down to a sane level. Guys, this is what happens. In the history of professional wrestling, whenever somebody gets a first title reign, it's called a tester reign. What do I mean by a test arena? Well, it's a little known secret in the business. It's something where you get a taste, and amuse-bouche would you, where they want to know if you are in that moment or if it was just a once in a lifetime pop. Jeff Hardy won his Intercontinental Championship by beating Triple H. He lost it back a week later. Edge beat Jeff Jarrett for the Intercontinental Championship at a house show. He lost it back the next day. Marty Jannetty beat Shawn Michaels, lost it back a couple weeks later. Guys, this is what happens. And I know what you're saying. One of these things is not like the other. The co-host of our podcast likes to say that all the time. One of these things is not like the other. That's how he says it. But guys, we need to be clear here. Marty Jannetty was super popular back in the day, especially back in 1994. People wanted to see him get his comeuppance on Shawn Michaels. And those Monday Night Raw matches and their match to pay-per-view, well, they were really good. But getting back to the IC title, this is what happens. Every now and then, WWE is going to test a theory. Let's see if fans invest in this. We saw it with Chris Jericho in the match that never happened on Monday Night Raw. You remember the one I'm talking about? The one where he hired the Acolytes Protection Agency to keep outside interference away so he can beat Triple H. But then Earl Hebner messed it up. He made the fast count, but the crowd reaction to that win was spectacular. Just spectacular. It was one of those moments where you saw it unfold and you noticed at that moment Jericho was going to be a big deal. That's what we got out of Jey Uso. We got that exact same thing. The 28 days that we got, yes, it was short, but I promise you, Jey Uso will be an Intercontinental Champion again. He will be a United States Champion again. And honestly, after what we just saw, I would say that he's going to be a future World Champion. I don't think that the buck stops here. I don't think that he goes back to the bloodline and that he never fights for singles gold again. He's going to get back together with his brother. He's going to be a part of the bloodline, but he will vie for singles gold in the future. You know what I found very interesting is I saw that a bunch of people are so upset about the fact that Liv Morgan, Dominic Mysterio, and Raquel Rodriguez were taken out in 60 seconds of television time by Rhea Ripley. And I asked myself this question. At what point in professional wrestling history did I think that the smaller person was supposed to always beat the big guy? It doesn't matter if they're a heel. I don't want that to happen. Every now and then, we need to have Goliath beat David. And let's be clear here. By you getting angry on the internet and attacking the WWE writers because Rhea Ripley is shredding through the Judgment Day, you're essentially saying that you're okay with Lio Rush beating up Bobby Lashley. You're okay with Zach Gowen beating up Brock Lesnar. That's not feasible. Liv Morgan has gone as far as she can go during this feud. And that's it. Let's put the title back on Rhea. Let's get her in feuds with Bianca, with Io, with Chelsea, with Piper, with Nikki Cross, anybody. It doesn't matter. Put her in a feud with somebody that's more formidable than the Jillian Hall of this era. Because that's what Liv Morgan is. If you take Raquel Rodriguez and Dominic Mysterio away from Liv Morgan, you've put her right back to where she belongs, which is the bottom of the card. Now, don't get me wrong. I love Liv Morgan. I think she's awesome. She's a Jersey girl. That 201 represent. But I've never thought of her as a believable champion. I didn't buy it when she beat Ronda Rousey. I don't get that feeling about her that I got about Alexa Bliss, that I got about Trish Stratus. Because the thing about Liv Morgan is she's a cookie-cutter wrestler. There's nothing unique about her. Rhea Ripley is once in a lifetime. There is nobody like her. You can make a comparison that she's like Chyna, but I would say if Chyna, Brock Lesnar, and American Badass Undertaker had a baby, that would be Rhea Ripley. But she is absolutely unique. Liv Morgan is not that. That's why she needs all of that other stuff. I made the comparison in the past to JBL. I felt like JBL's heel run and his heel character came at the right time. That's what Liv Morgan got. She came at the right time. That was it. But let's be clear with ourselves, guys. She is not going to carry this in the future. She had the opportunity. Rhea was out with injury. They didn't do anything with her because they don't have faith in her. She is a rung on Rhea Ripley's step ladder to success. That's what Liv Morgan is. We need to realize that. The sooner we realize that, the more enjoyable professional wrestling will be. I don't believe that Liv Morgan is that character that you all want. I don't think she can hold her own on the mic. She may, if given the opportunity like a Sasha Banks, where she's a reaction promo, she may be that. But Rhea Ripley's the real star here. I mean, we're talking about Io, Bianca. We're talking about Nia. Let's break it down for a minute. I did this on TikTok earlier, but I'm going to do it here. Let's really talk about it. Charlotte Flair is on her way back. Becky Lynch is on her way back. There's rumors that Mickie James might join the company again. There's a hot rumor that AJ Lee's coming back. Tiffany Stratton's moving up the card. Bianca Belair's not always going to be in a tag division. Jade Cargill's coming. Io's there. Asuka's going to get healthy. Nia Jax is putting in the best work of her entire career. We know how they feel about Bayley. We saw the way they treated Candice LeRae on SmackDown. We have Nikki Cross. Scarlett is possibly going to be wrestling now, and we know she could work. Zelina Vega. We have the Pure Fusion collection. We have Roxanne Perez that's moving up. We know Delta, Stephanie Vacour, and Julia are going to be quick stints on NXT. Out of all the women I just mentioned, who are you going to remove to give that spot to Liv Morgan? Everybody I just mentioned was absolutely unique. They look unique. They're all different shapes, sizes. I'm sorry, guys, and I know this upsets a lot of people, but Liv Morgan is something from the past. She's a relic. She is good for what she was, and she was given the opportunity, and you know what? Good for her, and I'm happy for her. But the people I just mentioned, they are the future of the wrestling business. All of them. I don't think Liv is sustainable. I don't think she continues to get better like a Trish. We saw Trish be put on her own. We saw Bayley be put on her own. We saw Alexa Bliss start out on her own. This is what happens. All of the characters I just mentioned are higher up in terms of popularity, higher up in terms of what they mean to the business, and Liv is down here. I'm sorry that I have to say that to you, but we have to be honest with our viewers. We have to be honest with you guys. What I find very odd, though, is WWE's just reaction to Damage Control yesterday. There were two different instances that I saw some problematic shit during with the Damage Control. One of them was obviously Carlito's I need to learn Chinese comment towards them, which has been confirmed today that WWE did not know that was going to happen. But for me, the bigger issue was the Liv Morgan treatment beforehand. I mean, there already is a language barrier, and watching Liv Morgan just completely push down Kyrie and Io as they're talking, I really felt like was one of those. I felt like it was just as bad as what happened with Carlito, and I think that they need to shore this shit up real fast. You guys can't have this, like, these racial issues going on. I'm sorry. That's part of the reason why, you know, the last dude is out of there. Let's move forward. It's 2024. These jokes, they don't resonate anymore. People are way too sensitive, and they should be, because those are not great jokes. I have to ask you, what is this obsession that Finn Balor has with Damian Priest? Because it's clear that Damian's character is already moved past it. And it also feels like the rest of Judgment Day has also moved past Finn and his little war with Damian. They don't even want to help him. They've given up. And now we see Finn Balor angry that people are moving on to world title pictures. But we don't see that with him. And now it's gotten to the point where the Judgment Day has almost felt like Finn should move past it. Focus on the tag titles. You're a tag champ. I wonder if Finn is going to cost them the tag titles inadvertently, and if he gets kicked out. There's been a lot of rumors that Carlito will get kicked out of the Judgment Day, and who knows, after what happened yesterday, he very well may have. But I think Finn Balor is the guy that will get kicked out. I've been calling for this for a couple of years. I just don't think he fits the group, and I think he's a better babyface. Guys, yesterday we said goodbye to one of the greatest in-ring announcers ever, as Samantha Irving has officially moved on from WWE as confirmed by WWE yesterday. And also, we were reintroduced to a voice of a generation, which was Lillian Garcia. But before we get to Lillian Garcia, let's give Samantha Irving her flowers. Because, guys, she is a part of one of the greatest entrances ever. She is a part of one of the greatest calls ever in professional wrestling history. We have Tony Schimmel and we have Edge, synonymous with each other. We have Howard Finkel and Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels, CM Punk, Hulk Hogan, all of the names that Howard Finkel just went out there and gave us. And then we have Samantha Irvin and how she introduced Roman Reigns, how she called the win for Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania 40. And it was so important that Cody actually had her announce it the next night on Monday Night Raw as well. That's how important it was. She will forever be known as the person who called the Cody Rhodes match at the end. Samantha, thank you so much for what you've provided for professional wrestling. It had only been 3 years, and I just don't think we got enough time with you. But Lillian Garcia, welcome back. Let's go. I'm so excited to have you back. You were such a voice of our generation, singing the national anthem after 9/11. I just can't. That woman means so much to the business, and I'm just super excited to have her back. Super excited to have her back. Oh, guys, I also wanted to say that face to face, Bron Breakker and Jacob Fatu. Well, that looks like mega bucks right there. That's money. That's money written all over it. But I also wanted to point this out. WWE has done such a great job introducing Jacob Fatu. They've put him out there to really be like the future of the business. He's had these monumental stare downs, but still no singles match on the main roster. And they've done it so well, so carefully. He beats people down. He rarely gets anybody to stand tall over him. And now we saw one-on-one him standing there with the future, with the next big thing, with the badass Bron Breakker. And I thought it was one of the coolest. And I think the Philly crowd, they ate that shit up. They saw it. They wanted it just like I do. It was awesome. I want more of that. I want it. Give it to me now. That's exactly how I felt. I felt like Violet Beauregard in fucking Willy Wonka. I want my golden egg now, Daddy. That's exactly what I want. Give me that. Because Bron Breakker and Jacob Fatu have the potential to main event WrestleMania. They have the potential to be more than we could have ever asked for. We can have years of these two. If we're moving forward, let's move forward with these two. Perfection. Just perfection. Guys, living in Pennsylvania, I have to tell you, it has been one of my favorite things to be able to go to Hershey to watch a lot of the wrestling shows. But living here, I'm able to also discuss professional wrestling with other people from different cities in this state. Like when WWE goes to Pittsburgh, goes to Reading, goes to Allentown, and goes to Philadelphia. Would you believe me if I told you that the friends I spoke to that were at Monday Night Raw last night said that Cody Rhodes got the negative reactions in his dark match with Jacob Fatu? That the crowd in Philly was more ravenous for Jacob than they were for Cody Rhodes, because that's what happened. You know the classic things. The 10 count in the corner with the beatdown. You also get the 1, 2, kick out, 2. And then you get the yay for one punch and boo for the other. Well, what if I told you Jacob Fatu got the yays and Cody got the boos? I think slowly the crowds are moving away from Cody because he's bland. He's vanilla. He's as beige as the wall behind me. I haven't been able to put some memorabilia up there yet, but I will, guys. And I will get rid of that, Target $12.99 lamp. But guys, Cody's reign has been vanilla. It's been boring. And I think we're about to hit that point where Kevin Owens is going to take over. He's going to be a bigger person for us than Cody. I think a lot of people are going to come out of this thinking that Kevin Owens is right. I wanted to talk about one more thing before I go. I think that fans need to understand that there are certain wrestlers that are never going to hit their stride. When I was a youngster, I remember I loved Vampiro. I thought Vampiro was dope as fuck. I loved Nova in ECW. I loved Tajiri, Super Crazy. I thought these guys could be everything. I loved Eddie. He turned out to be a world champ. I loved Voldemort. He turned out to be a world champ. But not everybody's going to get that opportunity. A lot of people are going to be Nova, and they're going to turn into the fitness guru he turned into. A lot of people are going to be Tajiri and typecasted in a specific role. A lot of people are going to be William Regal, where they're just going to be Intercontinental and European champs. Not everybody's going to be a world champ. Some people, they aren't even going to get the opportunity to move up a card. So whenever somebody wins a title, whenever somebody gets that opportunity, I'm excited for them. For a long time, Kofi Kingston was that to professional wrestling. He was always going to be that IC champ, the US champ. But Kofi got his opportunity. And I just think we need to realize that we need a mid-card to make the main event seem more impactful. Not everybody can be main event. We need to be okay with that. And if we're not okay with that, if we want everybody to be viewed as the top of the card, then WWE is no better than the company that works out of Jacksonville. And it's just that simple. Because right now, you don't know who the top guy is in Jacksonville. You have no idea. And I have no idea. It's supposed to be Moxley, but is it Moxley? It's supposed to be Orange Cassidy, but is it? It's supposed to be Kenny Omega, but is it? I don't know. I wanted to leave on a great note here. So I wanted to talk about Motor City Machine Guns. And my God, what a debut they had on Friday Night SmackDown. To be unveiled before the show with a contract signing with Nick Aldis to go out there and to win their very first match. And to do it with their unique flair. I think the crowd wasn't initially ready for them. They didn't really know what they were getting. And then they went out there. And I'm sure a lot of people that were watching at home thought, oh, is this Paul London and Brian Kendrick? And then you realize very quickly, oh, no. This team is super different. The Motor City Machine Guns debuting on SmackDown was the perfect call. So let's be clear here. Let's throw this fucking trope out the window, guys. WWE used to be the place that you would say, but you have to go the NXT route. There was a lot of people that would jump on the interwebs and say, well, why would you go to WWE so you could spend 5 years in NXT? I don't know, guys. There's been a lot of debuts. Everybody who's come from the Samoan dynasty has debuted right to the main roster. The Motor City Machine Guns, right to the main roster. I think we can officially put that trope to bed. Triple H is in charge, and if he sees value in you, you're going right to the main roster. So let's get excited about what we're getting, guys. It's great for business. Absolutely wonderful. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. This is a shorter episode. Tyler is still under the weather, so I was flying solo. If you wanted to catch me doing something outside of Must Love Wrestling, tomorrow night I will be on the Biconics podcast as we will be reviewing NXT and what's going on tonight, the go-home show before Halloween Havoc. Next week, I will be at Halloween Havoc this Sunday, and I will be at Monday Night Raw. They are both in Hershey, Pennsylvania, so I'm excited to be able to go to both of those, and I will do reaction shows for both of those after. I'll possibly do the Halloween Havoc show as soon as I get home to do a quick reaction, even though I don't typically like to do that, but being at a pay-per-view and watching a pay-per-view are completely different. Anyway, guys, if you like my content, please like, subscribe, and share our podcast. Word of mouth is honestly the best way to get us out there. You tell your friends, tell them. We are also on Spotify after this show. we end the stream, our wonderful producer, D. Rotten, will put this on Spotify and you can listen to it as well. So please give us a chance. Listen to us when you're on a poop break, if you're on a break from work, whatever you're doing. You got a room to paint, you got some laundry to fold, give us a listen. I think you'll find we have over 200 episodes on Spotify and on here. Skim through our stuff. I think you will find something super exciting. We're about a 355 subscribers here on YouTube. I'd really like to get that to 500. Once we get to 500, we are doing a fan pick all. The fans of the show, whoever watched the show, they are going to tell us what to discuss in professional wrestling, and we are going to do what you guys say for an entire show. So thank you once again for subscribing. Thank you once again for liking. If you like my content and you want to speak to me directly, almost like an every single day type of thing, you can catch me over on the TikToks. That's Macho_Rodriguez. You can also find me on the Twitter or X at LewisR826. Thank you so much for tuning in, guys. I really appreciate each and every one of you. And until next time, que tenga buen día.